Nissan undoubtedly enjoys significant praise and demand from multiple population segments. For a long time, the company has stood neck and neck with Toyota to fight for the trust of the mass market. How did it get there? Find out now. Masahiro Hashimoto was born in 1875, not long after the restoration of the Emperor of Japan to the throne, with a call for rapid industrialization to forcefully bring Japan out of its Middle Ages technological level and surpass the advanced industrialized nations of the West. Masahiro was born right in a time to be a student interested in engineering. Not much is known about his early studenthood or his family, but he graduated in mechanical engineering from the Tokyo Institute of Technology. He entered service as a government employee from then on, namely with the Ministry of Agriculture and Commerce, where he was likely tasked with the development and management of tractors. He was sent by the Ministry of the United States for further studies in engineering. He spent 3 years working for a steam engine manufacturer in New York. He worked in electrical engineering, the production of machine guns, and the design of coal mining equipment after moving back to Japan. One more thing he had the fortune to look at was the automobile, and it seems he was hooked as it did not take long for him to gather the funds necessary to establish his own company. On July 1, 1911, in Tokyo's Abazu-Hiro neighborhood, the Kwai Shinsha Motor Car Works was established. The first car's design was started right away. That car was known as the DAT, and it was one of the earliest indigenously made Japanese cars. In 1918, it was changed to Shinsha Motor Car Company Limited, and in 1925, it was renamed once more to DAT Jidosha and Company Limited, DAT Motor Car Company. Besides producing passenger cars like the DAT and Datsun, DAT Motors also produced trucks. Due to a nearly non-existent consumer market for passenger cars at the time and disaster relief efforts following the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake, the company produced a significant amount of trucks, and the first DAT trucks were created for the military market in 1918. It took DAT until 1931 to release a new, smaller car, known as the Datsun Type 11. The first Datsun, which means son of DAT, owing to its smaller stature. The holding company Nihon Sangyo was founded by Yoshisuke Eikawa in 1928. The term Nissan first appeared in the 1930s as an acronym for Nihon Sangyo on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Nissan owned foundries and auto parts companies at the time, and this business was a family-controlled zaibatsu. Eikawa didn't start making cars until he bought DAT Motors in 1933, because Masahiro Hashimoto thought it was wise to sell to such a strong organization. Thus, Nissan Motor Company was founded, and it took over the existing technology, even keeping the Datsun name for some models. Its Yokohama plant's construction was finished in 1935. The Yokohama plant produced the first vehicle using an integrated assembly system in 1935. Nissan built trucks, planes, and engines for the Imperial Japanese Army when hostilities between the Empire of Japan and the Republic of China were sparked. Nissan relocated its corporate headquarters to Chongqing, the capital of the then puppet states of Manchuria, in November 1937. The company changed its name to Manchuria Heavy Industries Development Company in December, MHID. This occurred because the Japanese military government began forcefully exerting control over many zaibatsus and other companies of the time, taking a page from the economics of the National Socialists in Germany. Indeed, the company would be forced to produce equipment for the armed forces of Imperial Japan until the end of World War II. The company was only able to resume building cars after the U.S. occupation of Japan had rescinded the ban on automobile manufacturing in 1949. This decision was wise as Nissan grew to become a major vehicle manufacturer for the U.S. Army during the Korean War. On the other hand, significant levels of anti-communist sentiment existed in Japan following the end of the Korean War. Nissan's workforce was organized by a powerful and militant union, and the company was having financial issues. So when it came time for wage negotiations, the company adopted a tough stance. Several hundred workers were fired as a result of the lockout. Shoichi Ichiro served as one of the union's leaders as it was established. Ichiro received a scholarship from the American government to attend Harvard University. He put forth the idea of saving 2,000 jobs in exchange for wage reductions. Ichiro's suggestion was incorporated into a new labor agreement that placed a focus on productivity. The company's initial perceived defeat quickly turned into its greatest strength, paving the way for the quick development of cars with designs licensed from British automaker Austin, which helped the company stay afloat. Nissan used the Austin patents to create more advanced versions of its own contemporary engine designs than what they could originally provide. Nissan's new, highly advanced four-cylinder overhead cam (OHC) Nissan L engine, which was unmistakably a Nissan creation, was unveiled in 1967. Nissan gained respect in the global sedan market thanks to the new Datsun 510, which was powered by this engine. This was quickly followed up with the Nissan 240Z, a six-cylinder sports car with a striking design. The 240Z caused an instant sensation and propelled Nissan to the top of the automotive world. Nissan and the Prince Motor Company merged in 1966, expanding Nissan's line of upscale vehicles to include the Skyline and Gloria. The Nissan name soon replaced the Prince name on succeeding Skylines and Glorias. Nissan Prince Shop, a Nissan dealership in Japan, used the word Prince. Later, generations of the Skyline would go on to earn wide acclaim as one of the best sports cars of all time. Following the 1973 oil crisis, buyers began gravitating towards premium small economy cars all over the world, but especially in the lucrative US market. The company constructed new factories in Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, the United States, and South Africa to satisfy the rising demand for the new Nissan Sunny. Nissan had long been the most popular Japanese brand in Europe by the early 1980s. Nissan considered building a plant in Europe to get around export tariffs and delivery fees to its customers in Europe. Nissan made an effort to turn the Greek plant into a single facility that produced vehicles for all of Europe. In the end, the company chose the UK, specifically the English city of Sunderland. They would go on to build quality sports cars such as the 300ZX, newer generations of the Skyline, the 240SX, and Silvia. All of these cars would be well received as icons of the up-and-coming tuner car culture, co-starring with its competitors from Toyota and Mitsubishi. These were very good cars, offering thrilling performance at affordable costs. Nissan established a factory in Brazil to usher in the 21st century. Through its subsidiary, Nissan Motor India Private Limited, Nissan expanded operations into India in 2005. The company invested $990 million in Chennai to build a manufacturing facility that served the Indian market as well as serve as a hub for small car exports to Europe, along with its global alliance partner, Renault. But it had entered the 2000s as an ailing company that had to do a merger with the French automotive giant Renault to survive and have Renault executive Carlos Ghon as its CEO from 2001. Nissan has recovered under CEO Ghon's Nissan Revival Plan, NRP, which many prominent economists consider to be one of the most spectacular corporate turnarounds in history. Nissan has achieved record profits under the NRP, and both its Nissan and Infiniti model lineups have been dramatically revitalized. For the company's turnaround in the midst of a faltering Japanese economy, Ghon had received rapturous praise in Japan. Japanese manga and popular culture frequently featured Ghon and the Nissan turnaround. It got to the point where the Japanese government recognized his contributions to revitalizing Nissan and gave him the Japan Medal with Blue Ribbon in 2004. It was during this time that Nissan would produce its most well-respected and beloved performance car yet, the Nissan GT-R. But the good times were not to last. Ghon announced in February 2017 that he would leave his position as CEO of Nissan on April 1, 2017, but would continue to serve as the company's chairman. He was succeeded as CEO by Hiroto Saikawa, his previous assistant. following his arrest for allegedly underreporting his income to Japanese financial authorities on November 19, 2018. Ghon was ousted as chairman. Ghon was detained for 108 days before being released on bail. However, after 29 days, he was back in custody on fresh charges. Instead of holding his scheduled news conference, Ghon's attorneys released a video of him making the claim that the 2018-19 Nissan scandal is independent proof of value destruction and corporate mismanagement on the part of Nissan. Facing near-certain imprisonment due to Japan's extreme judicial system, Carlos Ghon enlisted the help of a former U.S. Special Forces operative and smuggled himself out of Japan in a cargo container to Lebanon, where he holds a passport. To this day, he fiercely maintains his innocence and his solid reputation from years of work at Renault, Michelin, and Autofaz, alongside shady particulars of the way large Japanese companies think and conduct business. He does, admittedly, have a solid case. But anyway, he was out of Nissan for good, and of course, the entire scandal deeply hurt sales figures. Nissan announced at the end of July 2019 that it would fire 12,500 workers over the following 3 years due to a 95% decline in net income from the previous year. Then CEO Hiroto Saikawa confirmed that the majority of those layoffs would affect plant employees. Nissan later announced in May 2020 that it would reduce its production capacity by 20% as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The company made the announcement that it would stop producing cars in South Korea and close factories in Indonesia and Spain in the middle of 2020. Over this time, a $421 million loss was reported. Under the leadership of Makoto Yoshida now, Nissan has reorganized on selling workhorse models, such as the Leaf, Tilda, Micra, and Sunny. Alongside this, the company has also brought back the Z nameplate for a spectacular new sports car. By 2030, Nissan claims that it will have developed 23 new electric vehicles, 15 of which will be all electric. By the end of the decade, the company wants its Nissan and Infiniti brands to have a 50% electrification mix. Nissan intends to move more slowly in the US, with an EV sales share goal of just 40% by 2040. According to Nissan, its solid-state battery packs will lower the cost of battery packs to $75 per kilowatt-hour by 2028, making EVs more accessible to the general public. To achieve cost parity between electric vehicles and gasoline-powered vehicles in the future, the company wants to further reduce it to $65 per kilowatt-hour. Nissan unveiled several EV concepts to demonstrate its commitment to an electric future, including the Surf-Out small pickup truck, the Hangout boxy crossover, the Chill-Out small SUV, and the Max-Out convertible sports car. The Max-Out is the most athletic concept, emphasizing speed and performance with a low-slung stance. To maximize driver and passenger comfort, Nissan claims that it will include dynamic cornering and steering response that is balanced with minimal body roll. It is hoped that it will live up to the Nissan name's reputation as a desirable brand in the future. Nissan lives for now, but its future, after all this turmoil, remains to be guaranteed. Have you already heard of the story of Nissan? And are there any other details that you would add to this video? Share it in the comments, and if you'd like to see more inspiring business stories, then make sure to check out our channel.